Hi everybody, my name's Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Yah.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel, and we are your family, and you guys are our family, and we really appreciate all of you guys out there. We really appreciate all the feedback we get from this. We appreciate the comments, and we really, truly love the people of our Creator. You guys are all awesome people, and we are getting towards the end of our camping out of Sukkot. Gentlemen, does anyone here not have a backache? Does anyone feel healthy?
No.
Anyone feel real good and spunky?
No.
Tired. Yeah, tired. It's getting towards the end of this. It is. I don't really like this festival. It's probably because we are not equipped for this festival. We don't have waterproof tents, and so it's always a fight. Trying to stay not laying completely on the hard ground. So it is one of these hard festivals to keep. It shouldn't be, though. It should be like one of these really fun things. And I know people out there, they go to their little communities, and they all have huge shindigs, and they're all like farting up for all the whole times that they're out there. But I think they all have like really nice tents, or the people like sleep in RVs or campers or things of that nature. But we are roughing it, and we are on our backs on the ground, and so here we are. Gentlemen, how are you guys? How's everything?
Good.
Besides that,
Good.
Everything good?
Yeah.
A little quiet here. It's the end of the week. Today is a preparation day. Can anyone talk to me a little bit? Talk to everyone out there a little bit. What a preparation day is.
Preparation day is the day that before Shabbat is a rest day, is the day we take off. So that the preparation day is where we cook, we clean, we do everything we do so that we don't have to do anything tomorrow. So tomorrow is the day of reading our scriptures, a day of resting, a day of talking with Yah, and we don't have to do anything besides just that.
So does a Hebrew day start at the sunrise or sunset?
It begins at sunset. The day ends and begins at sunset.
How do we know that? How do we know when a day begins according to scriptures?
It says from sunset to sunrise.
Yeah, and so it actually says it in Genesis 1, and it talks about creation. And we either have to say that our Creator made a mistake and he got his words messed up when he was getting stuff to Moshe, or that evening and morning make the very first day. And he tells us all the story of creation throughout 6 days of the week, and evening and morning was the first day. And so, also, people have a lot of the confusion. A lot of people are, they believe the Sabbath starts when the sun rises, and you are actually, part of the day off. And, you can take scriptures and you can look at scriptures, and anytime that somebody was unclean, they were unclean till when, gentlemen?
Evening.
And what did they have to do to become clean?
They had to bathe.
You'd be bathed and you'd become clean. And so all the people becoming clean, if it was the sunrise in the morning, and that's when your Sabbath day or your days began was in the morning, then they would only be clean for like half of a day. All right, gentlemen, we are into the writings of Abraham. This comes out of our Apocrypha series, and before we get into that, I want to throw us over here because there is a limited edition number of these scriptures that are available. There will be 1,000 of these that will be ordered. We are taking pre-orders for these right now. The writings of Abraham is in this book. There's a group of us, about 15 of us, that we're going over the very last of these books again. And once we finish off this final read in the scriptures, we're going to read it one final time. When we're done with reading this one final time, this is going to go to our shippers, to our printers, and it will take about basically 2 months, roughly about 2 months or something to get to us. Nicole's putting her hands up over there. She says 4 months is what it takes to get it from that side of the world over to us. But these Bibles are going to be amazing print. They've never had a scriptures out here like this. Every one of these have the restored names of our Creator, His Son, all of our patriarch family from back in the days. And this is what the books are. And so if you would like to help Boss Clan out, and a lot of people throughout the years have said, how can we help you guys out? Well, this is how you guys can help us out. Order scriptures. When you guys order the scriptures, for every one scripture, once we get this set up, we are going to be able to start mass pushing these Bibles into prisons and get 103 book scriptures that have never ever been freely distributed to prisons. So for everybody that is ordering these, you guys are helping with a prison ministry. You're helping get brothers and sisters and change these scriptures. And we're hoping to change the world with this. And so with that, we will get into our reading of today. And for anybody that can't afford these, there's PDFs, and they're both located down in the description below. This is the Apocrypha. It is 37 books, I believe. The Apocrypha is free PDF, beautiful PDF that you guys are reading. You guys can download it, pass it on to your friends, and the hidden word of our Creator is not hidden anymore because it has been given to us, and we can see it. So here we are. Anybody want to do a quick recap of yesterday in chapter 4, all the 1 through 4? What happened? What did we learn yesterday that we didn't know before? Kate? Jade,
We learned that Terah talks about his son, how he hid his son, how he basically came home, destroyed all his gods, destroyed everything he had, and then we find out.
Wait a second. Was that yesterday? That wasn't yesterday. That had nothing to do yesterday.
Yeah, it is. Right?
No.
Tarok went. No,
in
you're way ahead of
Jash or
this.
something.
Yeah, you're way off. That's not had nothing to do with
No,
this.
this time about Abraham, how it begins with basically his talking about genealogies and his dad, and how Nimrod's super powerful, has his magics and stuff like that.
Yep.
And he has these special clothes that gives him like power or whatever, and how when they confused languages, they lost it all. But then Satan started giving Nimrod some words back in his new language, but he didn't have the full power anymore.
Yeah.
And he starts talking about his parents. So started going up the genealogy line, and it talks about I don't know, was it great grandpa, Shem's great grandpa. I don't know, talk about Shem and how he's Melchizedek, how he's the great priest. Talks about him a little bit in the Bible and stuff. And then we also learned that Noah. It talks about Noah and his kids.
Yeah. And so one of the things yesterday that we were discussing is about the word casting, right? The spelling, the way that somehow back in the days they had the ancient words where they were able to concoct the words together to where they were able to basically spellcast is what it sounded like. They were able to do things, and they had power back then. And it's probably good nowadays that they don't have that kind of power. We did touch on all the Satanists and all the demons and warlocks and all the other people that do the same stuff, where they will all simply, concoct things and do all this horrible stuff. All right, so let's begin. For everybody out there, again, thank you guys very, very much for joining us. We do love you guys all. To our, I want to give a shout out to 2 of our gals out there who are helping us read. Let's see, who do we have? We have Miss Candy and we have Ruby. We have Ruby and we have Miss Candy. Both of them are actually reading with us on this, I think. But we for sure Ruby. Give her a shout out on this stuff. Ruby is going through our scriptures line by line through the Torah, and she is doing a very, very wonderful job. Much love to Diane out there. Much love to Trish out there. Much love to everybody who's really putting it down for our scriptures and trying to get these as perfect as possible. And we are very excited about the hard print coming out. So a huge shout out to them. Okay, chapter 5, we begin. The mother of Noah was also the daughter of Methuselah. For Lamech and his wife had the same father, but different mothers. All right, is that anything new to any of you guys? None of us here by this table, but...
Kind of. It's like a lot like Abraham, how Abraham was married to Sarah.
Yeah, it's like his half-sister.
Yeah, right.
Okay, 2. And when Noach was born, his body was full of light, which caused great consternation to his father and mother, and father's wives and children in all his house. Okay?
And we knew this. We knew he freaked out because he thought that she had been with the fallen. And that's why he's like, when I think it was, he went to Methuselah or whoever's it may have been Enoch. He went to one of them and he's like, hey, what happened with my child?
Yeah, extracurricular books that are out there, it talks about this as well as the birth of Noah was a huge thing. Like it was a spectacular supernatural thing. 3. Moreover, the child stood up on his feet when he had come forth from the womb, and his tongue was loosed, and he did sing praises unto Yahuwah, saying, I will praise thee, O Yahuwah, for thou art the source of all power. Yea, the wellspring whence it floweth unto the sons of Elohim, and thou art also abounding in wisdom and great and mighty counsel unto thy servants. All right, what do you guys make of this? The kid jumps up out of the womb.
I guess he's he's born, starts speaking. That's pretty.
First of all, do you guys believe this?
I think so. Yeah.
Eli?
I think so.
Kate?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I believe it too. I mean, it's one of those things that most people are like, oh, no, these are the you can't believe any of this stuff. I think it was a supernatural thing, and the birth of Noach was essentially the final chapter of how society was going to be saved, how we are going to do it. And so this
I mean,
was
if a donkey can talk, I'm pretty sure we can have a baby talk.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if a donkey can talk, then why not a baby? Okay. 4. Nevertheless, thou art a Elohim who is long suffering in judgment. We did yeah. So nevertheless, though thou art a Elohim who is long suffering in judgment, the sins of the children of men have come up before thy face, and thy fury hath waxed strong, and will be visited with judgments upon the earth. Thy mercies, O Yahuwah, are beyond number, but thou art Elohim that visiteth wrongdoing upon the children of men, who the fullness of their iniquity hath come upon them. Therefore shall the earth be destroyed, according to the word of Elohim, which cannot fail. For the waters of the flood shall come upon the earth, and all things shall perish from before thy face, O Yahuwah. Nevertheless, in thee do we put our trust, for in whatsoever thou doest, O Yahuwah, thou hast ever done justly. Amen. 6. Anyone have any thoughts on that? Anything at all, Eli?
He's just praising Yahuwah.
All right. Anything, Jubs?
No, but it's pretty cool to see that he didn't know. He's just barely born. Like, he doesn't know Yahuwah. He doesn't know who that is. Yeah, he's just barely born. He's the baby. But also he's like, praise Yahuwah.
Yeah, and I think it was like one of those miraculous things that he went and he did that, and then he probably went back to like a baby for him.
Right,
Like
and-
he didn't like sit there as like a little miniature baby that was like walking and talking and like knew all this stuff. I think it was one of these miracles of like, holy moly, what in the world is going on here?
And it probably scared his dad because his dad was all into idol worship. And,
Dude,
like,
it probably
stones.
scared everybody. Dude, if you have a little baby.
Well, I mean, those who believe in Yah, they could see something like this happening, but someone's like starts praising Yah like another Elohim that's other not besides their idols. Tarek's probably freaking out.
It would be freaky. I'm telling you, the entire thing would be freaky, regardless if you knew Elohim or if you didn't. Having a little baby, because you guys, babies
Don't talk for like 9 months.
Babies don't move, right? They have this little they have like little heads bob up and down, and they sit there and puke all down their chins, and they can't even do anything. They just sit there and. Yeah, they cry. Like you guys, your mom had to like, she wrapped you up in a blanket. She like basically like band-aided you guys together. Your arms were down to your sides. You couldn't see. Yeah, swaddle is what she says. You couldn't do anything, right? You couldn't roll over. You couldn't lift your head up. You couldn't do nothing. This baby jumps up and starts praising Elohim, and all of a sudden, it would be it would be a thing to talk about, no doubt. All right, 6. These things were a source of amazement and concern unto Lamech, who thereupon went unto his father Methuselah, and finding him in the Hayekel, he said, My father, this day did my wife, thy daughter, bear a man-child. Now, what's a Hayekel?
That is
Temple.
temple.
It's a temple.
Yeah, it's a temple. And so he found Methuselah hanging out in the temple, and he goes, My father, I have a problem. There's something happening here. Okay, 2. And at his birth, the room was full of light, so that we could not look upon him. When we could look upon him, behold, the child's hair was white, and fire seemed to come from his eyes. And then he stood upon his feet, and sang a hymn of praise unto Yahuwah. And lo, he seemed to have the tongue of a messenger. Tell me now the meaning of these things, and how can I raise such a son? Now, what is the major problem here? Why is everybody kind of tripping out? Why is this a big deal?
Well, one, he's different looking than the rest of them. Like he's has like fiery eyes. I assume that's like red.
Yeah, you would I don't want to be mean, but you would say you see something like that, it would be kind of freakish, right? You would see white hair, fire from the eyes. The kid pops up, starts singing. It's going to be a very interesting thing.
I don't know what diversity they had in that world at that time, but like it probably was something looking when he like is glowing, I guess, and his hair's all white. I mean, you don't get white hair until you're like really old.
That's the thing. I found babies with white hair for the thumbnail. You'll actually see babies with white hair. But going back to why is this such a huge deal? Why is Lamech concerned? Why are all these guys like really tripping on this?
Because it could be a son of a fallen.
There it is. Yes, it could be a son of the fallen, and that is why they are all tripping out completely. Because for them, they went through an entire world where it was just human beings, and then all of a sudden the human beings started mating with the Watchers, and then the Watchers started having the Nephilim, and the Eliad. Right? They started having giants that were larger and bigger and stronger than every other generation after that, and all of a sudden their kid comes out looking like angelic. And It is a problem. Definitely a problem. Okay, let's continue on. Where are we at here, folks?
We're on the next, I think,
2,
chapter.
2, 7. Are we going to 7? Okay. Hearing these words, Methuselah too was troubled and said, "Fear not, my son, for although I know not the meaning of these things, I will go unto my father Enoch, for he is privy to the messengers, and he will be able to explain all things to us." Whereupon Methuselah traveled to the top of the highest mountain, whence he could speak unto his father Enoch. And he said unto him, "My father, my daughter, who is the wife of my son Lamech, hath this day brought forth a man-child. And at his birth the room was full of light, so that they could not look upon him. And when they could look upon him, behold, the child's hair was white, and fire seemed to be coming from his eyes. And then he stood up on his feet and sang a hymn of praise unto Yahuwah. And lo, he seemed to have the tongue of a messenger. Thus saith my son Lamech, who is greatly perplexed as to the meaning of these things, and how he can raise such a son. Okay, so his pops, so he had to go up to the top of a mountain.
Yeah,
I wonder how long that took. What kind of journey was that?
Reminds me of those old nomads, right? Or the guy you have to travel like,
Grandmaster.
yeah, there's some grandmaster sitting at the top of a mountain, some Shaolin monk or something. You have to sit outside the gates of the temple for 2 years before they ever let you in.
He did disappear all the time, then come back once a year.
He did. And so it seems like the kids knew exactly where he was at. So let's continue on. 8. Hearing this report, Enoch comforted his son Methuselah, saying, "Fear not, my son, nor fret thyself about this matter. For did not a Kodesh messenger visit thy son Lamech, and tell him that this should be the seed of the future generations? And was it not so? For this cause have these things happened. But on the 8th day, when the child is circumcised, he shall be covered, and shall appear as other men, except that his hair shall remain white, as a token that through him Yahuwah will do a mighty work." This word did Methuselah return to his son Lamech, and he was comforted. So what do you think? Methuselah had his stomach didn't hurt as bad on the way back, right? On the way there, he's like, "Oh,
maybe he felt better. Maybe he's rejoicing. Maybe
it's a good thing. He learned something, and it's kind of crazy that that Enoch knew all this stuff, right? That he could go and hang out and go wherever the top mountain was, wherever Enoch existed, and that's where he was, and he knew this. He knew what was happening. Okay, 9. And on the 8th day, when the child was circumcised, he was covered, that he became as other men, except that his hair remained white, and they called his name Noach, which by interpretation is comfort, because Lamech said, "My heart is comforted to know that my seed shall be preserved through the great flood." We'll finish off with 10 here. "And the child grew and waxed strong in wisdom and mighty in the power of the kahuna, for he was initiated into the order of the ancients in his childhood, and learned the rites and ordinances and the powers of the kahuna, with the signs and tokens and key words, wherewith he could call upon the powers of the Shemaim to combat the forces of the adversary." Okay, what is the kahuna, gentlemen?
priesthood.
Okay, now we have the order of the ancients. We have heard of something here that I don't believe that we've heard of before in this book, right? The order of the ancients. And who's taking a stab at this? Who knows what you guys know what this is, right? Mm-hmm. What is it, Eli?
So it's basically the ones who are super holy, basically. How do I describe it? Basically the ones who are super holy. They have a certain amount of rules and stuff, and they're in the order of the ancients. There's Enoch, there's all the forefathers, they were all part of the order of the ancients.
Shem was part of it. Yeah, and so it is a club for Kadesh people, right? And that is where our forefathers came from, is the order of the ancients. 2. And when he was come to age, he took 12 wives and begat many sons and daughters who grew up in righteousness and served Yahuwah all their days. And some died, and others were caught up unto the city of Canak.
So it sounds like a whole city went up, and a whole bunch of people besides Enoch went up.
Well, okay, so we got to talk about this, right? So when he's come to age, he took 12 wives. I don't know what age is exactly. We know age
is a lot younger than it is now.
Yeah.
1,000 years old.
Yeah, well, no, coming to age is 13 years old or something of the sort in back in the day. So I don't know exactly how old our home father Noach was, but he definitely had 12 wives. So that's very interesting, right? Because you do not catch this in any other scriptures, right? There's no other scriptures that you ever hear anything about this. In the regular Genesis, you have no idea you hear about Shem, Ham, and Japheth, but you do not hear about any of this prior stuff. Okay, let's continue on. Anyone have anything to input on this?
Nope.
Okay, 3. But in the next generation, they corrupted themselves. For the daughters of Noach's sons did go forth and lay with the sons of men, which thing was an abomination in the eyes of Elohim. Now, why is laying with the sons of men an abomination? Why is this a
Sons
problem?
of men, those are the fallen.
They're Cain.
Yeah. If you take, it's not just the. I mean, it's anything that is in that line. So anything that is in the polluted line of DNA, which unfortunately I hate to say, but we are living in these exact same times. The DNA of human beings has been completely corrupted, and YouTube is not a place where you can even say anything about that. But for those with eyes to see and ears to hear, it is over. So the days of Noah are here again, which is why we all need to be ready. Okay, 4. Wherefore, Yahuwah said unto Noach, Behold, the daughters of thy sons have sold themselves. For behold, my anger is kindled against the sons of men, for they will not hearken to my voice. Wherefore all those who go in unto them will be destroyed with them. All right. Anybody have a final wrappings on this?
I don't think so. I mean, it's build up to the flood here.
This is an interesting book, huh?
Yeah.
We could go on for a while, huh?
Yeah. But Noah, I know he doesn't get onto the ark till he's like, I think 500 or 600 years old. So I don't know how old he is here, but he's got like half a millennium to go here.
Yeah, he's got a long time to go and to walk with the corrupted people of the earth at that time. And so I guess with that, we will leave it with this. We have nothing but love for all of you guys out there. We hope that you have a wonderful day.
And a wonderful Shabbat.
Yeah, and a wonderful Shabbat tomorrow. When is the high Shabbat? When is our final high Shabbat? Sunday. So it goes from Shabbat to a high Shabbat again. And so so I guess we have a couple of days off again on this, and so we will keep you guys updated, Yah willing, on all of this and how things are going. So much love to everybody out there. We will see you again soon.
All right. Shalom.